People called you a late bloomer. You didn't ask for that label. And if you spent your 20s, maybe your 30s feeling like everyone else had already figured it out, you've probably heard some version of it more than once. Some men peak early. Clear vision, fast execution results by 30. We build entire cultures around celebrating them, the wonder kids, the prodigies, the ones who knew. But there's another kind of strength that doesn't show up on that timeline at all. It just takes longer to become visible. And almost nobody explains what's actually happening underneath it while it's happening to you. There are 4 specific things going on, and none of them are what people assumed. The first is that they're experimental, not hesitant. People stopped waiting for you to catch up. They moved on, got promoted, settled down, and you were still figuring things out. And they weren't wrong to be frustrated. From where they stood, you looked stuck. Economist David Gallinson, who studied the careers of artists and innovators at the University of Chicago, found 2 distinct types of creators. Conceptual innovators have a clear vision early and execute fast. Experimental innovators work differently. They don't move until the answer has been earned through evidence, not assumed through confidence. Late-strength men are almost always experimental. Most people misread that as hesitation. It's calibration. The second is that they refuse to optimize for the wrong outcome. People called you directionless. Too many half-started things. No clear path they could point to. That red wasn't entirely unfair. The career pivots, the gaps, the years spent on things that didn't look like they were leading anywhere, that's what it looked like from the outside, and it kept looking that way for a long time. Rich Karlgaard, who spent years researching late bloomers for his book of the same name, found these men weren't failing to find direction. They were refusing to accept one that didn't fit. One of them put it into words at a reunion dinner when an old classmate asked, not unkindly, "So what's the plan at this point?" He didn't defend himself. He just said, "I'm still checking if this is the right wall to climb." The table went quiet for a second, then somebody changed the subject. He didn't need them to get it. The third is that they hold ambiguity without breaking. You never had the certainty other men seemed to carry. While they knew exactly what they wanted, you lived in the in-between longer than felt comfortable. That uncertainty was real. It kept you up some nights. Some of those years were genuinely hard, not just slow. Angela Duckworth, whose research on grit at the University of Pennsylvania tracked thousands of people over time, found that persisting without a guaranteed outcome is one of the strongest predictors of long-term success. Stronger than early achievement, stronger than raw talent. Your ability to stay in the unknown without it breaking you wasn't confusion. It was grit running on a longer timeline. You just didn't have a name for it yet. But here's the question worth sitting with. Are you actually still building, or have you just gotten comfortable calling delay a strategy? One of those men is doing the quiet, unglamorous work. The other is hiding behind a story that sounds identical from the outside. You know which one you are. The fourth is that their thinking actually gets sharper. People assumed you'd lost a step. Slower to react, less sharp in a room full of younger, faster talkers. Some of that comparison was fair. Reaction speed does decline. Nobody's arguing that. But psychologist Paul Baltes, who researched cognitive aging and developed the theory known as selective optimization with compensation, found that while raw processing speed drops the ability to synthesize decades of pattern recognition into fast, accurate judgment, keeps climbing well into your 50s and 60s. Your mind isn't slowing down. It's finishing an education nobody else in the room has had yet. If you're a man, you grew up with an unspoken deadline. Have it figured out by 30 or something's wrong with you. Missing that deadline never meant you were broken. It meant your timeline was never running on their clock in the first place. I turned 38 and noticed something had gone quiet in me. Not sadness, just a calm I hadn't ordered and didn't remember installing. Nobody handed it to me. It just finally arrived the way it was always going to. Strength that arrives late still arrives whole. Which sign hit closest the calibration, the ambiguity, or the sharper thinking? Tell me which one. And if you know someone who's still being told he's behind, send this to him. Follow for more on the psychology of quiet intensity.